everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Katie, and today I have a really fun video for you all. So this is a great video, I think anyways. This is going to be the if you like this romance movie, then you'll like this book or read this book. All right, so I have, I think, 10, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 9. 10, yes. I have 10 different romance movies, and they span all the way back from like the 1950s and 60s all the way up to present time. Well, not super present. I would say like the most recent that I have is maybe about 10 years ago. I don't watch a lot of recent ones, but I think we have a lot of good ones that most of you may or may not know, so that's good. I have a very large stack of books here. This is going to be tough to take a thumbnail. Large deck of books. You can already tell what the top one is probably. All right, so the first book I am going to pick, or movie. The first movie, if you watched it, read these books, is The Tourist. I will put the screenshot of the movie cover. But for that one, I'm going to choose the Imposter series by Rosanna M. White, because in The Tourist, they kind of, characters disguise themselves as other characters. They try to integrate themselves into a different society or a different life. And so do these characters in these books. So I feel like this is a great series to pair up with The Tourist. There's also a bit of traveling done too. The next movie is Titanic. So to go along with Titanic, I'm going to pick Until Leaves Fall in Paris by Sarah Sundin. This is a World War II historical fiction about a ballerina and a man who works for the Germans, supposedly the Germans, in a car, like he owns like a car manufacturing company. Well, this one I felt would go with Titanic because there is a scene that's very reminiscent of that movie. I'll just put it that way, happening closer to the end of the book. But I remembered the scene from the book. I remember the scene from the movie. So if you enjoyed that one, read this one. It's a good emotional read set, back in the past. It's a historical romance. I think you're going to like it. The next movie I have is The Notebook, and sad to say, no, it is not my favorite romance movie. I'm sorry. I have seen it though, which is good. I can mark that off my list. But so The Notebook. So for that one, I chose one called A Ribbon of Years by Robin Lee Hatcher. And it kind of has that same pull at your heartstrings feel. It has that, that love that transcends all time type of feel to it. We're seeing kind of a recent timeline and a past timeline, so we're seeing both of those kind of connect and different, some different memorabilia kind of connects to the past, and so there's stories being told that way. And I feel like that one has a good connection with The Notebook. It's not a notebook, but there's still some connection to the past. The next movie, which is one of my favorite romance movies, and that is Kate and Leopold. Oh, if you've never seen it, it is a must. I love it so much. So this one, it's a time travel romance about a man who comes from way back in the past and ends up in our timeline. And it's fun. It's very romantic. And who doesn't love Hugh Jackman? I mean, come on. So for that one, I'm going to choose the Timeless series, because the Timeless series by Gabrielle Meyer, we're following characters, but these ones are a little bit different. So we're following a female character in each book that inherit a trait from their mothers, where they end up living 2 different timelines and 2 different lives. And by the time they're 21, they have to choose which timeline they would rather be in, or it may be chosen for them. So really amazing series. I just got book 3. I can't wait to read it. I'm so excited. But yes, so really great series, and definitely has that Kate and Leopold feeling with the romance and the time travel. So I think these work perfectly. The next movie is Roman Holiday, and this is actually honestly one of my dad's favorite movies. I do like it more as I've gotten older. Like when I was younger, I really didn't enjoy it. It wasn't my favorite of Audrey Hepburn's movies, but it is still a good movie, and I just figured, you know what? It's got to go in here. It is a classic romance movie, and for that one, I'm going to go for Loyally Luke by Pepper Basham. This is technically a third in a series, but it's that good to put on this list, and I am going to mention the others for another movie. So, but this one I just felt like is the perfect one for Roman Holiday, because in Roman Holiday we're following a princess who cuts her hair and pretty much becomes a nobody in Rome. And so she's on the run, she's trying to hide, and I just feel like that is reminiscent of this book, because we're following Luke as he meets a princess who he doesn't know is a princess. And that's what happens in Roman Holiday. So I feel like that is a great combination, and you're definitely going to enjoy this. There's romance, there's comedy, and it's a great time, just like Roman Holiday. The next movie this is another favorite, just because one of my favorite actors is in it, and that is No Reservations. So yeah, my heart goes pitty pat for Aaron Eckhart, and I actually do have a signed autograph picture that says "To Katie" with a big heart. I don't know if I'll have time to take a picture of it, but honestly, that's like my favorite autograph I've ever gotten. Yeah, I'm getting the giggles. Okay, anyways, so No Reservations. It's about two people who work in the same restaurant. One is the head chef, one has just come in as a newbie, and it's a very reminiscent grumpy Sunshine feel. Like very grumpy, very Sunshine. You know, we got two people working in the same place, and it's very sweet, and I do enjoy it. So for this one, I'm actually going to choose one called Hunting for Love by Casey Lane. And it's technically it is a workplace romance. It's not in a restaurant or in a kitchen, but it's Grumpy Sunshine, and it's the same type of Grumpy Sunshine where it's the female who's grumpy and the male is Sunshine. I don't know why, but I love that more than the girl being a Sunshine. Like, I love the boy being the Sunshine. Like, I'm just saying, it's really great. So I'm going to choose that one. It is a very sweet romance about a girl who's a corporate worker who goes to this big lodge in the pretty much middle of nowhere to get a contract for her company from an outdoors store company, and she meets the man who owns the inn, and so he's the outdoors kind of sunshiny type of guy, and yeah, so it was good. All right, the next movie is a family favorite, While You Were Sleeping, and like I had to put this in here because it's such a classic movie, and I had a really hard time trying to find a book that would fit this movie. It was really hard. So for this one, which might be a stretch, honestly, I'm choosing Plot Twist by Bethany Turner. So in While You Were Sleeping, it's about this woman who she falls in love with this man who always shows up at her like toll booth place for the subway or train station. And he ends up in an accident. Well, she tries to visit him in the hospital, and she says the line where a nurse overhears her, but she says, "I was supposed to marry him." That was only in her fantasies. Well, the nurse mistakes it for she's his fiance. So she ends up in this whole scenario with this family and stuff, and it's just a crazy good time. There's a handsome brother. So yeah, it's just a good time. So I figured I would do Plot Twist because there is a plot twist romance in that movie, and there's a plot twist romance in this book. So that's my take on it. There's not really that much more similarities. There's no man in a coma in this book, so not like the movie. So yeah, but it's just a good time. It's just a fun, sweet plot twist romance. And this is one of the only books where I have changed a star rating. I only rated this, I think, 3 stars when I first read it, but the more I thought about it, the more I enjoyed it. And so honestly, it's probably closer to 5 stars now because I have thought about it often and I still remember what it was about. So the next movie is My Big Fat Greek Wedding. That's another family favorite. My dad loves that movie too. So for that one, and just saying, they should have stopped with movie 1. I'm just saying, I did not like movie 2 and 3. I was so like excited to watch those, and I just did not enjoy them. So that was kind of a disappointment, that's for sure. So for My Big Fat Greek Wedding, I struggled finding a family that was that crazy and goofy, like that, but I chose the Skimar series by Pepper Basham because, I mean, the family's always in each other's business. They're always picking on each other. They're always like wondering like, it's your turn next to fall in love, and they just feel like one big Greek family, even though there's only four of them. Yeah, four of them. But I just feel like there's like, their humor, they're funny, they're all in each other's business, and I just feel like that's a good series, like a good family series to be sure. The humor, the fun, the picking on each other, the loudness, it goes well together. The next movie, I actually have 3 books for this movie because it's honestly one of the most done tropes probably out there in books, and that is You've Got Mail. I mean, there are so many books out there that take the letters and, two strangers, they don't know who they're writing to. And so I have 3 books that do that. And one is Dear Henry, Love Edith by Becca Kinzer. This is a sweet romantic comedy, and it's a little on the slapstick side, but honestly, if you just need a break from those other books, read this. It's sweet, it's funny, and it's about these 2 people who they're this one guy, he hurt his knee, so he can't go upstairs. So he rents out the upstairs apartment, or his upstairs, to a girl who's supposed to be going on a missions trip, but she's kind of in between where she should be. And so she lives upstairs. So they have no idea about either one of them, and they write letters back and forth, thinking that the other one is an older person. And so it was good. It was enjoyable. There is a where like each of them finds out who the other one is, but they're afraid to tell the other person. So there's that, but it's still good. Next one that I have for that is The Letter Tree by Rachel Fordham. This one definitely counts, but yeah, it's a sweet, it's historical romance, and it's set in Buffalo, which is near me, so that's cool. But this girl has been writing to this man. She has no idea who he is, but it's somebody who she's been friends with for a long time, through letters. And so they send each other letters through a hollow tree at the Buffalo Zoo. And it's just really sweet, and I just really enjoyed the setting and the characters. So yeah, good choice for that. And then the last one for that movie is Tacos for Two by Betsy St. Amant. I feel like this one is the most reminiscent of You've Got Mail because we have the enemies to lovers trope. So in this one, we're following 2 food truck owners, and they are rivals. They're rivaling in a competition, but they end up writing text messages back and forth. And so they have no idea who the other one is. So they're kind of falling in love with each other, even though they don't realize that they're rival food truck owners. So really sweet. And that one's a lot of fun too. All right. And then the last one that I have is kind of a cheater one because, well, it's my favorite, one of my favorites. And that is The Princess Bride. I mean, come on, you can't get more classic than that. That's probably more classic than Roman Holiday, if I'm being honest. I mean, well, it's a cult favorite classic, but I can't recommend you anything like that because nothing is better than the original book. And yes, this is the movie cover. I have other editions too, but this was the closest one that I had. I have like I lost track of how many copies I have. I think 9. We're so close to 10. I was counting up there. But this one was actually my very first copy. It is threadbare, not quite threadbare, but it's worn. It's very loved. My mom actually gave this one to me. This is my very first copy for Christmas one year, so I love it so much. The spine is even broken a little bit, but it's very well loved. Anyways, so I can't recommend you a movie or a book better than the original book that went with the movie, and a lot of people don't know this, which surprises me a little bit, but it makes sense. I mean, especially if you don't see the screen credits at the end of the movie. But the screenwriter of the movie is the author of the Princess Bride book, William Goldman. And he was on set during the filming of the movie. How better of a book to movie adaptation can you possibly get? There is none, absolutely none, that is more authentic to the book and authentic to the feel that the author wanted than that was actually written by the author himself. So I love this, and Funny story, I actually think, don't quote me, but I think William Goldman, he actually did the screenplay to Misery, Stephen King's Misery. And I have seen it. That one's intense, and that will be the only one I will ever see of Stephen King's, or I will never read any of his books either. But I have seen that one. But yeah, I saw the screen credits and I was like, William Goldman? Like this William Goldman? So yeah, that was a big shock. He is a screenwriter too, which is pretty neat. But yeah, so I can't recommend you a better book, and I can't think of a better ending to this video than to recommend my favorite book, because this is my favorite book. That's why I have multiple copies of it, because I love it so much. But yeah, so I'm actually annotating it this summer and finishing that up. That one's been in the works for like a year now. I just didn't have a chance to finish it up, but it will happen this summer. I am going to complete it and annotate it because I really want to. Oh wait, I have 10 copies. I do have 10 copies because I have one downstairs waiting for me to read and annotate. So yeah, so this was just a fun time. I hope you enjoyed this fun video. I thought it was time to do a, if you like this movie, you may like this book tag. All right, so I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you all in the next video.